Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is episode 4 of the Executive Suite, and I am your girl, Tequila Shabazz, wife, mother to one adult daughter, friend, social entrepreneur, leader, teacher, writer, speaker, disruptor, risk taker, creator of my own peace, joy, and happiness. I am who I say I am, and sometimes what I know I'm not. That was something that just came to my out of a conversation recently. I am timeless, but I was born again in 77, so I'm part of the Gen X crew. I hate groupthink, clicks, and blind followers. It makes me itch, actually. I am the founder of Key Virtual Support Solutions, which is an agency that matches entry to executive level talent with busy professionals that need help organizing their personal and professional lives. The Executive Suite is a space where self-made, high-achieving, high-earning women have candid conversations about real-life experiences on our way to and through success. Our purpose is not only to share our perspectives and lessons, but also dispel the common myths that come with the territory of being driven, ambitious, and focused. Please let me know that you're here. Leave your comments in the chat box. Tell me who you are, where you're tuning in from. And without further ado, what I'm going to do is go ahead and introduce our guests today, Adrienne Simpson and Danielle Pierce. Woo!
Hey.
Hey there.
Hey, ladies. Hey, ladies. You guys, I'm so excited to have you. I don't read bios and stuff like that. I like for you to actually tell the people who you are out of your own mouths through a series of questions. And the first question, I'm going to open it up with you, Adrienne, right? We're going to spend the first 10 minutes or so getting to know you, and then we'll move into Danielle Pierce. Both of these are fabulous women. You do not want to miss this. Make sure you share it out to your friends and families and all the so-called and real entrepreneurs in your life. Okay? All right.
Real.
The shade. Oh my God.
Now look, listen, don't be acting like you don't know we live in a time where everybody's an entrepreneur now. Please stop. Please.
Everybody is an entrepreneur.
Everybody is an entrepreneur right now. So I love these conversations because most people, if you really an entrepreneur, then you not going around, I'm an entrepreneur. This life ain't for
you working.
You working. Okay, so Adrienne, tell us, this is a two-part question, okay? So who you are, right? And second part is what you do to make money. Those could be two different things.
Absolutely.
So who are you and what you do to make money?
Oh, I love that. Love. So first, thank you for the opportunity just to even be here chatting with you wonderful ladies on this Friday afternoon or this afternoon. I love it. Thank you. And so I'm Adrienne Simpson. I'm the CEO and founder of the LinkedIn Pros, and I am a LinkedIn strategist and transition coach for entrepreneurs, for professionals and executives who want to transition to more revenue and more income. And so that's who I am. I'm a wife, I'm a mother. I'm a daughter. I'm a really good best friend. I'm a confidant. And the keeper of secrets from way back. I'm still holding some stuff that will go to my grave, and the people know who they are. I am also a connector of people. I'm the queen of the warm handshake, and I'm serious about that. So I connect people who I know who need to know each other. And oftentimes they're not even aware of it. And so I love to do that. What do I do to make money? Fantastic question. I do many things. And so I do own an agency, a social and digital marketing agency, branding agency. I'm also a real estate investor with my husband. So we invest in some properties, which we've been doing. We kind of are accidental investors, which sounds crazy. Before we were married, we both owned a property, and we decided to keep that as we continue on our journey together. We bought a house together, and then we bought another house, and we were like, let's see if this thing is going to work. We also have a 7-year-old daughter, and so we're looking to leave a legacy of wealth for her. She's hilarious, Harper Simpson, and she's been on the Essence stage and performed with her auntie at the Atlanta Symphony Hall.
What?
I love
it.
And is at dance camp right now, friend.
I love it.
What was she doing on that stage? She singing? She playing?
So no, she has a famous auntie who invited her to come on stage, and she did a little dance and she performed. And so she was excited by that. And she's looking forward to whatever opportunity she can do to do it again.
I love it. I love it. Now tell us, Adrian, give us a little backstory. How did you get to where you are now? Where did you start? What was your started from the bottom? Now you're here.
Started from the
In
bottom,
a
now you're here.
nutshell.
Listen, I mean, awesome question. So thank you for this soft pitch tee up. I love it. So I worked in corporate America for many years. I'm actually a graduate of Florida A&M University School of Business and Industry. Go Rattlers! So I was created, poised professionally to work in corporate America. That's why I went to school. That's what we were taught. We wore business suits every Tuesday at Forum and asked specific questions. We were geared and created for that. But nobody told me that that was going to not be a straight road. Nobody told me about the windings of corporate America, the politics. I didn't enjoy them. And I rose to high levels in executive leadership, but would look often around me and not see people who looked like me in these conference rooms. And then I would really like go back and say, well, why am I special? I mean, I'm special to my mom, I'm special to God, right? But in terms of being able to find and land these lucrative roles, I'm not special. And why don't I see other people that look like me in these spaces? And so in addition to that, I was laid off 4 different times in corporate America. But each time I had decided to transition and do something different, I created a process to get me back to work. And so after the 4th time and realizing that I had increased my salary and doubled and tripled it, right, each time, I decided enough of this. I'm out of here. I'm going to create my company and I'll teach other people to do it. And that's what I've been doing.
Very
I
good.
love it.
How do you define success? Because I think that that's a very subjective
Oh, it
thing,
is.
right? Like,
I'm glad you're going first, Adrian, because I'm just like, damn, I got to think about this.
Danielle, I am taking it for this team today, friend. But my gosh, I'm like, this is the hard stuff. How do I define success? That is so subjective and so personal, right? Because so I'll tell you, for me, success means peace of mind. Because while I was driving to my corporate job and I had all the trappings of it in my, luxury car, an hour commute each way, right? An hour to sit and stew and have my stomach in knots driving to this place, making well over, 6 figures, doing very well, but regretting having to go into this space. And the same coming home like every day. I'm a happy, jovial person, right? I do have a pretty bubbly personality. I'm a Gemini. There's a couple of us, right? But coming home, and I remember my husband wrote on a little erase board. He said it's just a job. He said, if you don't want to go back tomorrow, you don't have to. Now you got to go somewhere. You got to figure out the next step, but you don't have to go back to that one. Like, you can get another one. That's okay. And I think a lot of people, particularly Black women, feel like we are beholden. We are so lucky and so thankful and grateful to be making that 6-figure job. We don't want to leave, and then we don't think we can get another one, but you can. There's so many available.
yes,
Yeah.
I love that. It actually reminds me of when I left corporate, that last ride in Texas. I was living in Dallas, and you know that you can't get nowhere in less than 30 minutes, not even
Yeah.
across the street. Okay.
Mm-mm.
And I was going to job, and I literally was crying and praying and like, please, God, I work for the Chicago Tribune. And at that time, I was working for the CW network, which they own. And I remember crying, like, please get me out of this situation. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but I know this ain't it. And I'm telling you, just like that, I was in a 3-car pileup.
Oh my goodness.
My car was totaled, right? Which I needed for my job. I just bought this new car. My car was totaled, 3-car pileup. I walked away unscathed. And it brought me back to Chicago, which took me on the path of my entrepreneurship. So I know exactly what you mean when you say that. So for you, it's peace of mind. We share in that, we're aligned there. So you said that you're married, right? And you have a daughter. That's your family dynamic. How long have you been married?
10 years in August.
Ooh, honey.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Because that's a
Congratulations.
whole
Listen,
thing.
it's work now. If y'all listen to like, she married, it's work here. I used to be like, why are they saying it is work?
Yeah.
Tell me,
Every day.
I asked the question last segment, is marriage a business, right? I know that you and your husband are in business together, but is marriage itself a business? I'm not going to tell you what they said. I want to hear what you got to say about that.
Oh, wow. So for me, it's not. For me, it is not. For me, it is a covenant. It's a commitment. It is a partnership. My husband and I are partners, and we don't always see things the same. So, in that respect, right, it is an opportunity for us to share and align. Right at the end of the day, we've grown to that too. So, coming from, I got married older. Right. And so I'm in this relationship with, I've had a household already. So did my husband. So we have your ways of doing, right, what you do on Saturday morning, your regular routine. But I also knew that ultimately I wanted to be in a really good partnership with someone who was my friend and who understood what was important and the values to me and my family. And so we certainly have evolved and really have a great relationship. So no, marriage is not a business to me.
Let's talk about those principles. What are the principles that govern, or what's your covenant with your husband, if you don't mind, the public things. You don't got to tell me none of
Sure,
that
sure.
private stuff unless you want to.
Yeah.
I'm here for all the gems.
Well, so we believe in, really a good foundational marriage. We believe in the tenets of a traditional marriage. My parents have been married for 58 years. My sister and brother-in-law have been married for 25 years. So we have a history of longevity in my family. So for me, the trappings of traditional marriage are still intact. I like to cook, but I don't always do it. But I have a husband who understands, like, she has her career in what she's doing, and it's important. So he is great at ordering. Not so much cook. Baby, he orders like nobody's business, and he's actually grown to cooking. So after year 8 of marriage, I bought an air fryer.
Game changer. Okay,
Marriage
ladies.
saver, game changer. Listen, y'all better get it.
That's Sam. Look, listen. I'm talking about my mom. Like, all you do is cook salmon in that air fryer. Salmon
It's
is
fire.
business.
Salmon and chicken wings will save your marriage.
But wait,
Honey.
what I was gonna say, Adrian, so it took your husband 8 years to figure out that you weren't gonna, like, just be cooking every single day? Is that
No, so so what he he realizes that if he want to eat every single day, you better get in here and some stuff, right? I started out cooking lots of things. My husband's a health enthusiast. I try not to say
Oh,
fanatic, but he loves
yeah.
it. And so there are times where he will decide that he's not eating carbs or pasta. I am a carb eating girl, and so I'm not also not gonna be cooking all these multiple meals. What we gonna do? So you asked me about the tenets of my marriage. So traditional marriage, but certainly a marriage that understands compromise and that each person brings something to the table and must be heard. Right there, while we do, like, my husband is the head, traditional head, but he also does not rule or we don't manage our household in a dictatorial fashion at all. I'm a little bit mouthy, a little bit mouthy,
Just a little bit,
a
just a
little bit
little
And
mouthy.
you still married contrary to social media belief,
Oh,
right?
child, listen, but I have a husband that appreciates my perspective too,
Yeah.
because again, I also bring a lot to the table, right? And I also encourage him, and I, make sure that he has space to do what makes him happy and what he needs to do. When we got married, I said, fitness enthusiast. My husband used to play basketball like 3 to 4 days each week and 4 or 5 games each day. I thought he was insane. I really didn't think he was telling the truth when I first met him. Then I messed around and had to go to the gym at 5 in the morning. I was like, these fools are out here doing this for real.
for
This is a thing.
real.
Yeah. So we have a half court basketball court in our backyard.
Look,
Oh,
listen.
wow.
My trainer said you can come in for another, class that start before my Pilates class. I'm like, so you want me to do two classes back to back? Like, where they do that at? Obviously on your side. Thank you so much. That was such a great introduction to who you are, and we're going to go ahead and pass the mic on to
Pass
our
the mic.
good
Your
friend.
turn.
I know, right?
Put Danielle in the hot
In
executive
the hot
seat
seat.
right now.
Oh my goodness. All right. I
Okay,
forgot all
so
the questions, so you're gonna ask me again, right?
absolutely. Me and Danielle have known each other for a while, but I'm real interested still in these questions for her, because I feel like every time we talk, I learn something new about this one.
I'm
Okay.
interested too, child.
So, who is Danielle Pierce? Who are you, and how do you make your money?
Okay. All right. So who am I? That is such a great question. I feel like I ask myself that every 6 months. So I am a mom. I have three amazing children, 11, 10, and 8. So I have an Aquarian who is a stereotypical Aquarius. She knows everything. My 10-year-old is a stereotypical Taurus, stubborn as hell. He also is the middle child, so he has that going. And then my 8-year-old is kind of like she's a little bit crazy. If I had to, kind of categorize her, she's a Pisces. She's like my little shadow. If she was here, she'd literally be like somewhere in this corner or this corner, like watching what I'm doing. So I have three amazing children. 15-year full-time entrepreneur. So I've been an entrepreneur since '07 when I was laid off. House head, shit talk. Wait, can we curse? No.
Yeah.
Okay. House head,
Do it.
shit talker. I love joking. I think I have a dark sense of humor. What else? I'm a reader, writer. I am a teacher. I think I explain things pretty well. But the issue with that is I don't like to explain things more than once. So that's why I didn't go into teaching as a profession because that wouldn't have worked out well for me.
Mm.
What else? Business owner, soon to be divorced now, but soon to be a partner or wife of somebody. I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to that. And I think that covers most of it. That's about it. And then how do I make money?
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
that is a great question. So over the years, I've done a variety of things inside of being an entrepreneur. All of it has been related to real estate, though. So I haven't really left that arena ever. And so right now, I am the co-founder of a company called Mindset to Money, which Real Estate Profit Lab kind of rolled into that. And so we do a few things there. We our premise is to teach financial autonomy or to provide a blueprint to financial autonomy in 5 years or less. Part of that is our flagship program, Property Preservation Mastery, which is what I have done since 2013, and then created a course from that and a book and some other things. And then we also have experts from around the country that come in and talk about things like be your own bank and creating an online course and all these different things. And so that is, we just kind of kicked that off this year. And so that is how I make money. So I primarily work in the digital space now, which has been fantastic. I never want to leave it. And there you have it.
Yes, I know. The less you got to deal with people, the happier you are. I swear to God. How did you
Only
get
on some days.
how did you get to where you are? How did you
Uh,
get from what was your started from the bottom? Now you hear story.
Started from the bottom. So one of five children. Now there's four of us. Let's see. Single parent household. My dad wasn't really around very much. My mom worked a bunch of jobs, primarily like as a CNA. So she didn't really ever make a bunch of money. But it feels like I kind of followed in my mom's footsteps because she always wanted to do real estate. And then I remember seeing books like all the time when I was younger. So she kind of had an interest in that, but she was just never able to fully pursue it due to having five children by herself. Well, not by herself, but raising them by herself.
Mhm.
So I grew up, I was a caddy, got a caddy scholarship, which is a very odd thing for a black girl from Chicago Heights to
Oh,
have a
awesome.
caddy scholarship. And that's how I ended up at U of I. I majored in accounting. So I have an accounting degree, and I worked in accounting slash audit slash tax for 5 years. But I knew within uh, about 61 days that this was not what I was going to be doing with my life. I was like, yeah, no, this is not what they said it was, and I hate it here. And so I worked at Equity Office, which is downtown Chicago, and that was my last job. I left there in 2007. They were laying off people, and I volunteered to be laid off, which was actually pretty dumb in hindsight, but I thought it was a great idea at the time. I was like, yeah, lay me off. This will be great. God is telling me to be an entrepreneur. And then that really wasn't God though, right? That was just me being me being silly. And so I accepted the layoff. Decided to dive into full-time entrepreneurship, which I had no clue what that looked like back then. I just thought I would pass out some business cards and be cute and smile and like I would be making money doing something, but I didn't quite know what. And so that is kind of how I transitioned into being an entrepreneur. I was laid off, and then it took me about 5 years or so to replace my corporate salary, and the rest is history, as they say.
Is that what made you start Mindset to Money to help people get to that goal quicker than
Yes.
it took you?
So before Mindset to Money, it was always all about property preservation, like, start this business that's recession proof. We had all these success stories. We have over 300 5-star reviews across Google,
Mm.
um, Amazon, the course platform, and I'm missing something, but 300 5-star reviews that are out there. And so that was the big part of it initially was just, okay, do this business. But then it's like, well, there's other things besides, just being a business owner or just starting this type of business. There's a lot of work to do around mindset. So that is a big part of why we kind of transition the brand into Mindset to Money.
Okay, so here's a question for you. You are divorced, correct?
Yes.
You're divorced. You have three children. You're
Yep.
actively dating.
Yep.
So what has been your challenge as an entrepreneur, single mom, dating over 40? Tell us a little bit what that look like.
I mean, how much time we got, Tequila? Like, what we got? What we doing here?
Come on, you can slice. You just wrapped up
Um,
your whole life in 3 minutes.
okay, let me think. Challenges. So it's a challenge being divorced. I was divorced. I got divorced in 2018, but we had been together since 2001, since I was at University of Illinois. So that's actually where we met. So the challenge around being divorced after such a long relationship is actually feeling like you're divorced and then actually acting as if you're divorced. So that
Mm,
was a challenge. So a lot of back and forth, a lot of, well, maybe we should, do XYZ. Maybe we should, all of that stuff. And I think anyone who's been in a long-term relationship can probably relate to that. Except for I got a couple friends who are like, girl, when it's over, it's over. I never go back. But whatever, I'm not them. So so a lot of back and forth. The kids, that was honestly, that was a challenge. Tequila, being married and being divorced. That was probably a big part of the reason why it led to divorce because, kids are great, right? I won't say that they're not, but children expose all the cracks in your foundation that you may or may not even know that you have. And everybody thinks that kids are going to like bring you closer together. Many times children bring you farther apart because you kind
ooh,
of you have your hidden expectations, they have theirs, they have all their shit they're dealing with, you have all your stuff, and you have these kids that come along and it's like, well, you should do blah blah blah, or I expected XYZ, and it's like, nah, I'm not doing none of that, right? That's not what this is. So that was an issue. What else is there? Time is an issue. I live close to my brother who's here. He helps out a lot with the children. But aside from that, I had to find babysitters. I found a drop-in childcare center.
Mm.
My friend from Chicago actually relocated to Texas. A big part of the reason why she came is because, I was gonna hire her to help me with the children because they knew her and she was tired of Chicago. So that worked out perfectly. And she actually just got married too this year as well. So that was a good kind of a good story for her to have. Outside of that, I think those are the primary challenges. So time, a divorce, feeling like you're divorced, acting like you're divorced. That's about it.
okay, your last question in the final minute. What legacy are you working to leave for your children?
I want my children to be, if I had to put it in one sentence, free thinking Black children. So I
Mm.
want them to be, well, both free and free thinking. So I don't cultivate any particular box or path for them in terms of what I want them to do or what I think that they should do. I just want them to, use their brain, listen to their intuition, um, have a passion or find their passion or find a thing that they love to do and follow the path that works best for them and whatever life they intend to create. I'm just here as the guide, right? I'm here as the guide, I guess the fun snatcher from time to time. You could say that. It ain't, I believe in, quote unquote gentle parenting and raising free thinking Black children, but still, disrespect is not going to be tolerated in whatever
Yeah,
category we call ourselves, right?
never.
Um, but that's the goal. I want free thinking Black children who have the courage to live the lives that they actually want to versus doing things that they think that I want them to do or their dad wants them to do or anybody else for that matter.
I got goosebumps. You know why? Because that's exactly how I raised my daughter, who will now be 28 years of age. To be free thinking, explore. And it doesn't matter who you piss off, including me.
Yeah.
Mm.
Go
You
out and
regret that sometimes when she's talking to you. I think we've had that conversation where you
listen
just like,
all the
God.
time. All the time, she works to piss me off. She lives to piss me off. But it's okay. I love it.
Yeah.
Then I have to remind myself that I'm the one that raised her to be this
Yeah.
way, and she makes me proud all at the same time, right? So absolutely love it. We're gonna go to a commercial break before we
Okay.
get over to our next segment of
Okay.
targeted questions. So
Okay.
let's go ahead and get this commercial.
Key Virtual Support Solutions matches you with highly qualified pre vetted entry to executive level talent for your business or personal needs. We can support you or your team with administrative, sales, customer service, or operation needs. The process is simple and we can match you within 72 hours. Call 217-212-4367 or visit our website at keysupportsolutions.com to learn more.
All right, all right, all right. You guys definitely, if you need to get your life together, you can definitely call Key Virtual Support Solutions. You could be an entrepreneur, you can be a busy executive. We help both personally and professionally to get that life in order. Okay, so we're going to get into these targeted questions. I'm back with my guest Adrian and Danielle. Y'all having fun?
Yeah,
Yes. Thank you so much.
we
Yeah,
are.
talk to Friday, right? And I really, we dropped some gems, getting to know you guys. I feel close. We all gonna be in Atlanta next week. So
Yep.
we need to.
Are you going, Adrian? You'll be.
Yes.
She's part of
Yes.
CSG.
It'll be a party. I love it.
It will be a party. Okay, will be a party. So I'm about to ask you some questions. I'm gonna kick this off with you, Adrian. What has been the most rewarding and challenging thing about aging?
um,
And I mean, you can be very real about this because look, nobody's mama nowhere. And maybe y'all was different. Maybe y'all had mothers, grandmothers that prepared you for aging. But look, listen, when I was 20, I thought like I was gonna be bad forever, like in my prime forever, right? So nobody prepared me.
okay. Yeah. Um, Again, great question, right? Here's what I'll say, something that took me by surprise that I still am a little surprised by. So I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida originally, right? I said I went to Florida A&M University, but if y'all know anything about going to an HBCU for school, you know that the experience is a little bit different, especially on Fridays on the set. So we dressed like outfits, hair, all these things, right? I've been going to get my nails done forever. I don't do it anymore because I would spend so much time in the salon. But I used to wear high heels. So I'd be in shirts and, the cute linen shorts and 3, 4, 5 inch heels. I used to run in platforms all the time. And then I'm looking at the calendar, 4 years ago, I I fell downstairs in my house and I broke my leg in 2 places.
Ooh.
So if you're going to do it, friends, I want you to take it all the way, right? I have a metal rod in my leg. I have bolt screws in my ankle, right? So, oh yes, I'm serious about it. Had to have, again, life-changing surgery and I was in the hospital for 5 days. So all that to say, I was shocked and just dismayed that I broke it was a very painful and very difficult break, which had me like incapacitated for some months. But there is really no earthly reason why I should have broken my leg in 2 places by falling down some stairs. Like in you look at your record at the hospital, and I remember laying in the bed on the good stuff, and I looked to my right, the nurse that was putting the stuff in the information in the screen, and it said the patient fell down 8 flights of stairs. I said, "Who fell down 8 flights of stairs?" Because plus I was high. They were like, I said,
Wait, this story is getting better and better.
I know. I said, "I didn't fall down no 8 flights of stairs." They were like, "Well, you did?" I said, "No." They were like 3 stairs. I was in my garage in my house. 8 flights. I said, "Y'all really embellishing the story." I mean,
Oh
it's a
my
good
god.
read, but that is not true. Like, I need all the truth to come out. So when they treat me for what really happened, not for what y'all think happened. But I had, I'm guessing, brittle bones because I'm older.
Mm.
So the doctor asked me, "Well, do you have osteoporosis? Do you have these things?" And I was like, "No." Prior to that, I never had any issues or concerns. I fell down these stairs, and I mean, literally, yeah.
Dang. Did you have on platforms?
I had on tennis shoes.
Oh,
Wow.
I was at the house. And as a matter of fact, what was crazy was I typically would go into the garage and I would have a backpack, I have my computer, I have my coffee mug, and I would balance on the stair on one foot and pull the door closed. Like that was my everyday. So that day, I happened to just be home. I was going to pick up my daughter from daycare. I had my purse and a cup, and that was it. Like I really wasn't even distracted. And I had been home the bulk of the day. My husband had been home the bulk of the day. but he had to go to a meeting, which was uncharacteristic. And so I wound up falling down the stairs, and I was by myself in our
Mm.
garage. And so I had to do a series of things just to make sure that I was able to reach out to my husband and him have our neighbor come and open the door, because I would have not survived.
Dang, that's pretty
Yeah.
serious. So the lesson here is, in your 20s, you can run in 4, 5 inch stilettos,
Listen,
platforms with your hot shorts on.
here,
But over 40, you may not be able to make it down 3 steps in your tennis shoes.
you better tiptoe
You better
and
tiptoe,
pay
because the
attention.
bone, you start breaking bones. It's a
Yeah.
long healing
Yeah.
process.
It's long, and it's
It's that
it's not
real.
quick anymore because you don't heal as fast.
Yeah.
I had
It's
never
like
broken
your
anything before.
metabolism. It's like your metabolism. Remember how you could eat whatever? And I mean,
Yeah.
I could eat whatever and I lose weight sitting on the couch just from hitting the remote. Okay. Can't do that no more.
No.
So
Yeah.
what do you think has been the most rewarding thing about aging?
Hmm. Gosh, just the life experiences that I've had, right? So my husband and I are able to do so many awesome things, and give our daughter really wonderful life experiences. Whereas if I had gotten married earlier, like, I think everything happens when it's supposed to.
Yeah.
And for us, it's just really again living out experiences and dreams and doing the things that we can do as we're older that I wouldn't have been able to do or even afford to do or share with my daughter, if we had had that experience younger.
Yes, I love it. What about you, Danielle? I know you about to get explicit.
I,
Um,
I am not.
that's just how you roll.
I
What
am
do
not
you think has been the most challenging and rewarding thing about aging?
challenging. So today, well, a couple days ago, I had braids in my hair, knotless braids. I love them, and then I took them down. I had this big afro, and I love that too. And then I was gonna wear that for a couple more days, but I didn't feel like doing you got to twist it and braid it the night before. I didn't feel like doing all that shit, so I did nothing. So I woke up the other day and I was just like, huh, well, this isn't cute anymore. So then I washed my hair. Right, I'm getting to the point. I washed my hair, and then I had to blow dry it to get it back into this ponytail because it's this big.
Yes.
And so I pulled a muscle over here somewhere, blow drying my hair this morning for no reason. Literally nothing happened. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't like doing a backflip I was just blow drying my hair. And I finished and I was just like, oh, okay. So now I have something that I've done over here on this right side. So the most challenging part is random stuff like that. Like I will put on a shirt or like do something too fast. And then it's just like I have some type of pain. But what I will say though is I recently started going to Stretch Lab, which is a assisted stretching facility. I told you about that, Tequila.
Yeah.
And I think nobody realizes or focuses on the importance of stretching, especially as you're young.
Mm,
It can
mhm.
prevent so many injuries, and so it can actually benefit your life in crazy ways that nobody even talks about.
Even blood circulation, right? Like the way that your blood flows
Your
and circulates.
circulation, and then
Mm.
if you're an athlete or you are active or you do anything, like you can a lot of some bone injuries or bone breaks happen because the muscle around it is too tight and you put pressure on like the slightest pressure and it'll snap. But if you stretch regularly, you don't have that issue. So I was
Oh,
like, man, I
There
wish I
you
had
go,
known about
Avery.
stretching like 20,
okay.
25 years ago. It is life changing. And that's why you'll
Okay.
see people like the celebrities and professional athletes, and you see them doing like yoga and swimming and like random things like that, even though they're football players, is because they know or somebody has told them about the importance of stretching. Now that's the
Mm.
disadvantage. Now the best part about getting older is I feel like I'm just so smart. Like I'm smart as hell. I'm like, oh my god, I love it.
Yeah. I love it.
I'm like, but and so sometimes I wish that
Yeah.
I had this knowledge like years and years ago. But to be fair, I probably would not have listened to any of it. So it
I was
doesn't
gonna
matter.
say, wouldn't you have wasted it though? Would you have wasted? I did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I would
yeah.
have easily. I wasn't listening to nobody because I
Yeah,
had all of the answers. But
Oh
I
yeah.
swear to
exactly.
God, you right.
Yeah,
That wisdom kick in and be
yeah.
like, wait a minute,
Being
we're not
smarter,
learning all of this. When this happened?
yeah, and being confident too. So you just care a whole lot less about what people think. And everybody says that, but I think once you get older, at least for me, like I actually really do mean that. I care a whole lot less. There's a handful of folks who I care what they think, and everybody else, I'm just like, all right, well, we'll just let whoever think whatever and let that be that. So
And
that's
you
the
be
best
so
part.
fine with it too.
What you
So
say,
fine.
Adrian?
You be so fine with it. Like not
Yeah,
only do you not care, but you are so fine with it.
unbothered,
So
unbothered.
fine with it.
Mhm.
Okay. I mean, it'd be like, all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I have to say the same thing that with both of you, like Adrian, I went to do a keynote address, right? And I was too cute. I had my polka dots on, I had my 4-inch red heels on,
Ooh.
and I'm on, right? And my guy says, make sure you take your comfortable shoes. I was like, comfortable shoes for what? I'm going to be in my car. I'm going to get out of my car, go into this keynote address, have a seat. Y'all look, listen. I had to park far, didn't
Oh,
take that into account. Like, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I'll be okay. It's the school right there, girls. 3 steps in, my ankles
they
went
told you
numb.
who was in charge. They told you who was
They
in
went
charge.
numb. I'll go up to actually give the keynote address. I had to take one of the shoes off because my ankles was like wobbly and stuff. It was finna wreck. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot even believe. Like, I literally just have to stand here for 5 minutes and give this address. But I gotta take these shoes off now because my ankles is weak. So I understand it can't do it no more.
Mm.
Can't do it no more. Danielle, again, like nobody. I tell people all the time. I'm like, my daughter specifically, like the access to information that y'all have
Yeah,
right now
it's
It's
is
crazy.
insane.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like if I would have had the access to like be working out, right? Like I would have been working out at 20. I'm telling you, I just thought I was gonna be fit for life,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Mhm.
I'm right there with you. But the wisdom though is priceless.
Mm. Yeah,
It's priceless, and the level of just no fucks given,
priceless.
priceless, priceless. Okay, so speaking of no fucks given, what expectations have other people placed on you since your status changed? Right, like
Let me go close these doors.
what expectation? Because people think, they have preconceived notion. Like you doing it, Adrian. You like your sister is successful. I don't know what your background is, Danielle, as far as family dynamic. Danielle, you went into your family dynamics, and I have an understanding just from our conversations. But when you reached a certain level of success, and people they can see the change in you. Like you're going to stretch therapy, and I can call you on a Monday, and you're just moseying through the mall, right? They like this chick don't got no job. Adrian, we finna be in Atlanta for a week. You know what I mean? Like when you can just get up and you have a certain level of freedom and peace of mind, you glow in a certain
Yeah.
kind of way.
Yeah.
And people like, well, Adrian got it, Danielle got it. So what expectations have people placed on you that is different from before?
I love this question. So I literally have this conversation with my husband a lot. So I'm looking down to see if the door is open. Um, so in the vein of no fucks given, right? I made it like sound French. I have always led with my opinion, right, in the forefront. So like I've always been able to say no. Uh-uh. Oh, I don't want to do that. Oh, no, I don't think so. Now, maybe not as forceful to a broader audience. Like I probably haven't been able to say no to my mom, for example, or my dad before, but now I can do that. And so what kind of like people don't really put things on me because I've always set boundaries. And now
Yeah.
I'm getting to I'm learning to set even thicker boundaries. And it's so fun and amazing. And my husband, so he
It's
has a
fun and
challenge with that.
amazing. I love
He's
it.
the bank. Like he is the bank for our extended family. But he was more so that before we got married. But I guess I have so much to say about it. So now, like, his finances are my finances. Like we are intermingled. We are a family. And so why are these people still calling you? I said, nobody calls me for money because I've set these boundaries.
Yeah.
Right. Now I do give my time, but again, it is based on what I want to do. So family doesn't impose in that way. But if I let up off the gas, they would. Right.
Mm.
But I like, again, I try to lead with not try. I am leading with what is best for me as a person in my mental and physical well-being state of mind and what's best for my family. And then the rest of y'all can kind of get this exposure. but certainly there's a priority level where I have really grown to express these good boundaries and then maintain and manage them. My peace of mind
Yes.
is priceless. I don't want it.
I love that. What
Mm-mm.
about
Yeah.
you, Danielle?
So I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum, at least initially, and well, for a long time. So I mentioned I was a caddy starting at age 13. So as a caddy, you get paid every single day when you finished your round of golf. And I think my first round I made like $40. So mind you, I'm 13. I was born in 79. So whatever year that was, 92, 93, something like that. $40 was a lot of money. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much money. And so I got paid every day. I was caddying every day, sometimes twice a day. And what I ended up doing was giving a lot of money back to
Mm.
uh, the household. So I was putting gas in my mother's car, buying groceries, lending people money. I've always been the lender, the fixer, the problem solver,
Mm.
the whatever. And I did that, and then I got to college. I got a refund check. I sent that money back home. I was paying rent. I was doing a lot of different things. So
Mm.
some of that is, yeah, I want to help. I want to do these things, and some of that is obligation. But also, what I found out through a series of trainings I went through is that some of that is just i- is it low self-esteem that I want to say? It's something about people needing you and you wanting to feel needed.
Mm,
Yes.
And so it's very easy to look at everybody and be like, oh, they leeches, they this, they that. But really, people do what you allow them to do. And so because I allowed myself to be set up as the fixer, problem solver, or whatever, that was the role that was the life that I lived. And I lived that up until probably late 30s, and then I was like, I'm good on this. This is dumb. And then I kind of got my self-esteem together, got my confidence together, and realized that, you know, people really resent you deep down when you help them too much.
mm,
Um,
Mm.
and you actually cripple them. So there's really literally no benefit to doing it. You only should give if you really, really want to, and if you don't need it, and
That's
no
right.
expectation of return. Outside of that,
That's right.
you shouldn't be doing anything. And then when I started feeling all this resentment, I went through a period of like, oh my gosh, everybody is, they talking about me, and but that's what people do. And so I had to realize that they will say and think whatever they will say and think regardless, and that
Mhm.
all will be okay, right? I just have to be comfortable
Yeah.
saying no. So my motto now is get used to saying no, get used to saying yes, I have it, and no, I don't. I'm not giving it to you. So
Oh,
yes, I love this. So it's
absolutely.
boundaries.
yeah,
Boundaries abound.
yeah.
You understand? My favorite word is no.
Mm.
It is. It's quite fun. I like how it sounds when it rolls off the. No. Okay, so last question because we only have a couple minutes left in this segment. What misconception do folks have about successful women? If you
Hmm.
really had to think about it, because I think that there's a lot of misconceptions um, of what it means to quote unquote make it.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't ask these types of questions of people. Hmm.
Of
What do
course
mis-
you don't.
that
Maybe this is
because I
hard
don't
because it's a given.
right.
What are some of the misconceptions that maybe you read? You may not ask people, but you may have come across. Um, like I see a big one. Uh, Successful women are usually very independent and don't believe in
Yeah.
traditional
Yeah.
roles. Like Adrian was
Oh,
saying, we kind of run a traditional household. We're bitchy. You're an alpha
Definitely.
woman.
Yeah.
You know what the fuck that is. Whatever. I'm Sigma.
yeah,
Sigma.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Um, so, what are some of the misconceptions? We got 1 minute.
So
Anything?
Pushy boss.
all of that, plus, you don't have fun, you don't know how to relax, you don't know how to like, you don't do things that are you find joy in, um, and that you are mean. I think that's a big
Mm.
one,
Oh,
which
yeah.
surprises me all the time. I was like, people are mean. I was like, but why though?
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Pushy, bossy, always have to be in control, be in charge. I don't want to be in charge, but sometimes if y'all don't do anything, then I'm going to lead with it because I can see the direction we need to go in.
That's right. Y'all mad. You big man.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go into the promo section so that you guys can talk a little bit more, like 60-second commercial break for you guys on what it is that you do. We're gonna start with Adrian Simpson from LinkedIn Pros. Give us your 60-second pitch. Let the people know, and of course, you guys will see all of her information up on the screen. Go ahead, Adrian.
Awesome. So, as I mentioned at the start, I'm a LinkedIn strategist and transition coach for entrepreneurs and professionals, executives, folks who are working in business, who want to transition to more revenue, more income in their career. I am also a correct career executive coach. So, I help people who are in industry, want to get a new job, want to get a better job, better paying job, folks who haven't interviewed in a really long time or just not comfortable doing that process. I teach my clients how to do and level up. I've got somebody texting me right now because she's waiting to hear for the results from her interview this week. And so I really find pleasure and joy in helping people find their next level up and leading with value in that interview and exchange process.
Very
Woo woo.
good. I love it. I love it. I love it. People be sleeping on LinkedIn. I am people.
Oh my
I
goodness.
am
Um,
people.
The money is
I
there, friends. It's so there.
I am
I
people.
know it. So you guys see her website there, the LinkedInpros.com. This is for entrepreneurs and executives. Look, listen, you better call her. I need to make an appointment, like real talk.
Come on.
So now we're going to go ahead and hear from Danielle. Please
Hey,
give us
hey.
your
So
pitch.
sure. So Danielle Pierce, again, co-founder, founder of Real Estate Profit Lab, co-founder of Mindset to Money. The goal inside of Mindset to Money is to help folks reach financial autonomy within 5 years or less. We define financial autonomy as just being able to have enough passive income coming in to pay your bills every single month without having to specifically go out and work a 9 to 5 every single day. We have a 6 ring ladder. We call it the 6 rings of the money cycle, and we
Mm,
take people through stage one, which is hustling, grinding, trying to make a dollar out of 15 cents, all the way up through stage 6. Now, granted, I'm at stage 4, and so is my partner Thomas, where we're financially autonomous. But the goal is to get to stage 6, and of course, you can find out more at mindsetthemoney.com.
Yes, absolutely. And let's go
awesome.
ahead and throw her website up
Oh,
there.
DaniellePierce.com. Yeah, that
Hey,
too.
girl, get it together. Get it together. Okay, so you can find her at daniellepierce.com and it'll lead you, okay, where you need to go. Thank you, ladies. We're about to get
Mhm.
into this second segment. And this is a pick a category, right? And so what I
Ooh.
do is I typically will pick 3 random categories, right? And the categories are aging, leadership, and stereotypes.
Mm,
Aging, leadership, and stereotypes. That was what we had beforehand. And so we're going to get into it. Which I want to start with first? Aging, leadership, or stereotypes? Adrian.
Give us leadership. Give me a
Yeah.
boost today.
Okay.
Enough beating me up.
Look, listen. Your life is boosting me up. Listen, okay? It's boosting me up. You've been married for 10 years. Y'all doing the dang on thing.
It
I
ain't
know
perfect.
it's
It's
hard
work.
work.
Yes,
Huh?
sir. It's work. It's work. I want to make sure I reiterate. It's work.
Man, your whole face changed. Okay. Um, what book has helped you most as a leader and why?
Oh wow. What book?
Yeah. And I mean, there's probably multiple books.
You see all these books over here?
I
Right
do.
behind me. And then I have on my desk. Um, you know what? So this happens to be right here. So this is the Harvard Business Review book on strategy.
Yes.
So I bought this set, gosh, 2 years ago, I think. And so just thumbing through because I love strategy. So I'm weird in that way. I love to define the best path forward. Like I've been a project and program manager for many years. I'm a certified PMP, and so I think in process and defining best ways of working. So for me to be able, and I impose that on my clients too. And so I
Mhm.
think about what is the best path forward, what's the end game, what's the end result we're looking to get to, and let's define a path to do that. And so all that integrates strategy to be able to get the best results. So this is one, right? But there are others.
Yeah, I love that. So we gonna drop it. I'm gonna have our podcast coordinator drop in the comments for everybody. Hold that up again for me. It's on strategy,
It
and
is.
I love the Harvard Business Reviews because they have the whole packs that you can buy.
Yeah.
I have some up there on like strategy as well, leadership, change management. My favorite out of that is managing yourself, right? Because I think
Yeah.
that so many people focus
That's
on
important.
micromanaging other people and don't know how to manage their own emotions, right? And how they show up as leaders. So I love that you guys picked that up, Harvard Business Review on strategy. What about you, Danielle?
Um, I got a lot of books. I mean, I read at least probably 2 books a week now because I don't watch
Mm.
TV. So, but if I'm a new entrepreneur and I'm just starting out, one of the books that I would highly recommend would be a book called The E-Myth by, I think it's
Mm,
Michael Gerber.
I
And
tried to
essentially, he
scroll
just
here.
talks in there. E stands for entrepreneur, so it's like the entrepreneurial myth. And I think it's a great time now to read this book because there are a lot of myths around entrepreneurs floating around, and everybody wants to be one these days until they actually get started. But
yes.
basically, the premise of the book is that just because you're good at something doesn't mean you should start a business doing that thing. And a lot of us, especially, I'm just speaking
Uh-oh.
now directly to Black folks, a lot of us, because we're good cooks or we make great clothes or we make great earrings, we think that that equates to being to we should start a business doing that thing. And those two things are wildly unrelated, but nobody ever sits us down and tells us that. Not to mention, a lot of those sectors are, typically low profit margin, hard to get started, hard to keep running. If you look at it, the restaurant club industry, I mean, those are very challenging industries in
Hmm.
when it's not a recession, right? So E-Myth, and then I also really like Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. He
Mm,
is, into quantum field and meditation, but I think that a lot of your success as an entrepreneur is dictated by your mental and emotional bandwidth. And so a lot of us, we can't get to where we want to go business wise because mentally we're not quite there yet.
yes, I love that. Speaking
Ooh,
of,
stepping on these toes.
look, listen, I've been an entrepreneur now for 10 years, and it was a huge shit show the first seven, right? Just for the reasons that you're mentioning right now. One of my favorites is Atomic Habits by
Oh, that's
James
good.
Clear. Like, I love that book, right? So I want us to, if you could, Denicia, drop into the chat. Tell us again, Danielle Pierce, you have E Myth, and what was the second one?
Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself
Breaking
by
the Habit.
Dr. Joe.
Yeah, Dr. Joe Dispenza, one of my favorites to listen to. All right. Okay. So we talked about that. Stereotypes or aging.
Uh,
Danielle?
I say stereotypes. Let's go back to stereotypes about, um, either being a successful woman entrepreneur or just being an entrepreneur in general.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the question around stereotypes, and we can come back to that. But the
Okay.
one that I want to um talk about, and you touched on it, Adrian, is traditional gender roles, right?
Um,
Um, Yay or nay for you, right? And when I talk about traditional gender roles, a man should lead. He should take care of the household. A woman's place is in the home, taking care of the children. Or do you believe in some sort of hybrid model of that? Let's talk about these stereotypes that come around traditional gender roles, especially in this current climate where there is a rise of the manosphere, which in my head is equivalent to feminism, but that's political. We're not gonna go there. Talk about it, Danielle.
so yes to gender roles. I think that it's just structure, right? And I think every relationship has some level of structure to it. Now, whether that means that you cook 5 days a week or you do the things that people were doing in the 1950s, maybe, maybe not. But I definitely do think that I believe in traditional gender roles.
Okay, and for you, just so there's clarity, what does traditional gender roles mean to you? What does
So
that look
traditional gender roles means that the man is the strategist, the planner, the leader, the future thinker. I don't think that being a because the man is that doesn't means that the woman is not any of those things. I think that the man is who he is, and then smart men listen to or get the input or the feelings or opinions from their significant other, and they move accordingly. I don't think that it means that the man is just like a dictator and decides everything in the household. I think that is a myth that we've kind of perpetuated in recent years, but I don't think it's ever meant that. All the best men I know, and I know some bomb ass men, they all have amazing black women or women in general. I should say they're not all black, but they have amazing women, and their women are glowing They look young as hell. They're free. They're happy. They ain't on social media arguing with nobody. The men don't argue with anybody. They just go do what they do, and then they have, they lead the life that they've created.
That's right. I love that. What about you, Adrian?
So definitely believe in traditional gender roles. Like, my husband is head of house. We certainly partner though in the way we live our lives and the way that we manage our household. And I'll say this, like I mentioned earlier, that my parents have been married for 58 years. Well, my husband's parents have been divorced since he was 8. And both had other, marriages and all that. So he really didn't see a traditional marriage. So for us, at least in the very beginning, there was sort of a level set, an alignment that we needed to have for him to understand the perspective that I had on marriage, and for me to understand that he didn't have necessarily the same example. But if we're going to work and be here for the long term, then this is where we will meet in the middle, and we have. So for us, it's traditional, although sometimes it means me having an idea and then making them think, What do you think about?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's traditional
is
though.
this a good idea?"
Women been doing that since the beginning of time.
Listen, friend, y'all better you
Listen,
better you better clue into that. And so, he may think it's his idea, but it may not always be.
matter of fact,
Mhm.
there is a saying that is circulated often within the Nation of Islam that says a wise woman knows how to make a man believe it's his idea.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Listen.
Right,
She
because
like,
we
I do
all
this.
know the fragility of a male's ego, right? So a
Mhm.
wise woman knows how to make a man believe it is his idea. I love it. I love those.
And call me wise.
Yeah.
Look, I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure out what works for me. I'm a rebel. Um, okay, so the final question, because y'all left Agent for last,
Okay.
rightfully so. Rightfully so. But here's something that we don't talk about though. What were you once very confident about that now makes you insecure,
Mm.
and vice versa?
And as
Right?
far as aging,
Yeah. You would age. So at 25, you were real confident about this, but as you began to age, you kind of started feeling a little insecure about it, right? Some
oh,
people,
go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's easy. Probably my stomach would be what was super confident about, and then as I got older, and versus the
Ditto.
high five, and the reason for that is aging and childbirth. I was looking the other day at these stretch marks, and I was just like, should I get these like lasered out or something? And I'll never forget, like my kids, all of them at when they were younger, they would kind of look at me and they'll be like, my son was like, "You have tiger stripes." I was just like,
Hey.
yeah, that's from bringing you into the world. He was
Thank
like, "Well,
you.
how did that happen?" So, yeah, that'd be my number one thing.
Yes. What about you, Adrian?
I would have said body. I wasn't going to like zero in on a particular area. But just, body somewhat, right? Definitely metabolism has slowed. And my confidence in that way has slowed too, right? However, I think it's shifted. So whereas in my 20s, I was much more confident about my body and the way that I moved in that way, and now it's more mental confidence, more how I lead in progressing, like the things I'm able to share with people. We talked about wisdom before, the things that I now know that I can help and impart in other people and help kind of bring them along. So it's certainly body image a little bit, but my confidence has shifted so that I make up for it in other ways.
So it balances out. Same for you,
Mhm.
Danielle?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, me too. Definitely. But I'd definitely be in the mirror like, what
When did this get here?
I get Botox? Right? Like some I would have never even questioned or asked myself at 25, like again, because I just had a misconception of what it meant to be fit. Like some people just are born
Mhm.
this way, while others, have to
Mhm.
work for it. Oh, talk about bursting of a bubble. Okay. So here's a chance for you to actually pose a question to the group, right? Like in my randomness, I'm random in this section, right? So Danielle, what question do you have for us today?
Um, hmm. You called on me first. A question. You said a random question about anything.
Well, just any question that comes to your mind that you want to ask, right?
I have one. Do
Okay.
you feel like you are doing, whoever's watching, whatever the thing is that you do you feel like that is your passion and your life's work? Um, or do you feel like, it's not? And if it's not, then do you know what your passion is? That'd be my question.
Ooh, that's a good one, Adrian.
Tough act to follow. Um, what I would say though is I would ask your
Wait,
audience
wait, wait.
member.
Go back. Answer her question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was,
Oh, she called on you again.
oh like,
Sorry.
what question?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so it's about, do I feel like I'm doing my life's
Yeah, is
purpose
this your
and work?
passion, your life's work, or
Yes.
do you think that it's even important to be doing your passion or life's work?
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely. I
okay.
think that we waste a lot of time because we are so used to, like, as a society, we are in a rote rhythm, right? You grow up, you go to school, if that's your thing, and you get a job, and then you go to work, and then you retire, and then you maybe live the life that you want after the fact. Why do we do that? I am absolutely living my life's work and passion. I'm helping other people get to their higher income goals. I help people. Some of my clients never even thought they could get over six figures. I help them land those jobs and give them the confidence, right, to move
Yeah.
forward. And this is not for a one-time deal; it's for years to come. I also teach people that just because you land one job doesn't mean you have to stay there, right? So we get into this habit of rhythm. Like I remember my grandmother years ago. I think I was on the first layoff or second layoff, maybe, and I told her about it, and we talk all the time. And I remember her saying, "Well, baby, what's wrong with you? Why can't you keep a job?" Because my
Mm,
grandfather worked at the
Mm,
same plant for 40 years and then retired. But we're just not in that cycle. That economy is not that. And thankfully so. I'm
yeah.
thankful to God that I got laid off that first, second, third, and fourth time. So now I'm helping other people get to their thing. So am I living my passion? Absolutely. I love
Yes. I love it.
yes, I do. And I'm going to say my passion, my purpose is always centered around creating change and advancing social cause. So I build my passion into what I do. I had to
it.
learn the first 7 years not to lead necessarily with my passion, but learn how to fund my passion because
Mm-hmm.
other people will not. So, what can I do that is profitable, but it is still funding my passion? It is still, I'm still helping other people to create change, to be liberated and find freedom. And what is helping me to evolve as a person, right? Because in 5 years, I know I'll be doing something completely different from what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
But what will still be a part of what I'm doing is advancing some sort of social cause and creating change.
I
That's
love that.
awesome.
What about you, Danielle? You answer your own question.
I was hoping we wouldn't do that. Um,
But
so,
I'm curious.
so I was thinking about this the other day, and I think it'll be a similar answer to yours in that there is the work that you do, which is the physical thing, right? Whatever that thing is. And then there's passion, but it doesn't have to be two separate things. And so I've realized that, what I am passionate about genuinely is inspiring people, giving people like tactical blueprints to do certain things,
Mm.
giving people specific game plans that work, whether with regard to generating, money or starting a business. So I'm passionate about that. And that's exactly what I do. I'm not as passionate about, like I don't, like I said, I don't like to repeat myself over and over again. And there's a lot of things that I don't like, but what I do like is just being a change agent and like, oh man, I didn't know about this. Let me, show you how to do this thing like that all day. I love doing that.
Yes, executives, those of you who are in the suite with us and viewing this wonderful show today, drop in the comments and answer that question that was posed one more time, Danielle, for the executives in the audience.
Ah, are you doing your life's work or is the thing that you do, is it your passion, your purpose in life?
Yes, that's a good question to ask yourself because you only have one life,
Yeah.
right? And one thing that they say is 99.9% of the time, when people are transitioning out of here, checking out of here, they have a lot of regrets about not doing the things that they love and that they're
Yeah.
passionate about, right? So I love this question. Adrian, your turn. You in the hot seat with the question.
Yeah, I had a little bit of time to think about this. Thank you for that. Um, I will say certainly, and I mentioned it before. I believe that everybody is on their path, right? Wherever you are, like everything has occurred in the past to get you where you are. But hypothetically speaking, I would pose to you all in your audience, what is the event or person who has had like the biggest negative impact on your growth, and what warning would you give your younger self?
Ooh, that's good. Say it one more time.
So, what person or event has had the biggest negative impact you feel like on your growth? And what warning would you give your younger self about that event or that person?
Danielle, you
Ooh.
want to start?
Ah, are you? Do you have an answer already? You can go. Let me think. The biggest negative impact. I thought for
Okay,
sure
so
you were gonna.
okay, I'll answer because I hate to think about things.
Or just don't say negative, just say event
Right.
or
I
person.
mean, it's their lessons, right? Their
Yes.
lessons to me, right? And
Mhm.
they were challenging lessons that scarred me, right? But I think the biggest has been myself, my mindset, right? And how
Mm.
I think. It hasn't been other people. My mindset, um, and my lack of discipline or boundaries gave these people the access, right? So I'm going to say that it was the way that I thought, the way that I viewed myself. It was me. It was me. Everything
Mm.
starts with me.
What warning would you give your younger self?
Um, that the most important relationship that you're gonna have is with yourself, right? And that you must set principles that will govern the way that you allow other people to treat you.
Mm.
So you set the tone for how others will treat you, right? You give these individuals access. So I would set laws and boundaries and principles and be very clear about that because I was very loosey goosey and extremely inclusive and non-discriminatory on the people I allowed to have access to me.
Very good.
All right, so I had some time to think. So thank goodness. Whew. All right. So it. So the biggest. I can't think of a person or an event that has had a severe negative impact upon me, and I know that that sounds. I don't know how that sounds, but I can't think of anything because I don't know. I haven't let things keep me down or stop my progress. I haven't allowed, my family not supporting me to be a thing. I haven't allowed, my ex-husband at the time saying, "Oh, you should go get a job," to be a thing. I haven't allowed being a mom or a wife to prevent me from pursuing the career the identity that I wanted as in terms of my career. I haven't let three small toddlers, stop me from doing XYZ. I guess is why I get a lot of questions sometimes. People are like, "Well, how do you get past fear?" Because I feel it, but it hasn't stopped me. But what I will say, the detrimental part about that is that my lone wolf mentality has cost me in terms of I think I could have gotten where I'm at today. I don't know, 10 years ago, had I, realized that you can only go so far by yourself.
Mm.
So the lone wolf mentality is more so, it has its perks, but the drawbacks is that a lot of it is rooted in lack of trust and just feeling like, they're not going to do it as well as I can. Forget those people, and so I kind of stunted my growth for a long time. So that has been the drawback. So what I would tell my younger self is that, you don't have to be a lone wolf. You can build a circle of people around you that are just as competent and ideally more competent than you so that you can get the success that you want significantly faster. And then to just not be so mistrustful of people and calling it something else.
Ooh, I love that. What about you, Adrian? We got 1 minute left.
Wow. I would say I wish I had leaned into relationships earlier, and realized the valuable the just the valuable things that you can glean from them. I've always known a lot of people. I've always been very personable, but I never leaned into the importance of people and how you know them, and how they can help you.
Yeah,
I do that now. I teach that now. I even lean on that from my clients, but I didn't take advantage of it younger, and I wish I had.
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah.
Leveraging relationships. I gave five lessons that I learned when I spoke to the Simpson Academy for young women. Number one was what I just talked about. The most important relationship that you're going to have is the one with yourself. Be
Mm,
careful about putting others before you. Number two, seek mentorship and guidance. Number three, choose your circle wisely and know how to leverage that circle, which is what you were saying. Number four, always have discipline. And number five, get your lessons quickly,
mm,
right?
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
spend 10 years learning the same lesson and failing the same test. Oh my God, how
mm.
much
Mm.
further I would have been if
Yeah.
I would have gotten my lessons quickly.
Mhm.
So we're going to go ahead to a commercial break before we go into our concluding segment. So right now, let's hear from our sponsor.
Key Virtual Support Solutions matches you with highly qualified, pre vetted entry to executive level talent for your business or personal needs. We can support you or your team with administrative, sales, customer service, or operation needs. The process is simple and we can match you within 72 hours. Call 217-212-4367 or visit our website at keysupportsolutions.com to learn more.
Good, very good. And we are back. I just want you guys to know that this is the first episode in which we are introducing the advertising space. So I want you to know that you can actually get yours business advertised right here on the Executive Suite. Just go ahead and hit us up at info@executivesuite.com. I'll make sure that at the end you have all that information. Also, make sure that you are subscribing to our YouTube channel. Special shout out to those who actually subscribed during our week long, it was a 4-day campaign
Yeah.
that I did so that I could get over 100 subscribers so that we could brand our YouTube page. And let me tell you what YouTube did after I did all of that, right? They like, oh, you got to wait 10 to 12 days before you can even customize your URL. So we still have this long URL. But we did make it over the 100 mark. Matter of fact, we probably got close to 160 subscribers, which is good. So I do want to extend a shout out to all the lovers because that's what I focus on, the love, not the hate at all, right? So this is our final segment right here. And what I like to do here, because we only have about 15 minutes left before we leave each other, ladies. It's been such a pleasure spending my Friday afternoon with you.
Yes.
Love it. I love it. I love it. I hope that you guys, Adrian, where are you at?
So I'm in Conyers, Georgia, but the Atlanta metro area.
You're in Atlanta, right? And we
Yeah.
said that we gonna catch. When you getting down to Atlanta next week? I'm Tuesday. Oh, you down there already? What am I
I'm
talking
here
about? You will be there Tuesday. I might hit
Tuesday.
you up. I might hit you up like, I'm here. What
I'll
you
be
doing?
there Thursday.
You would be there Thursday, Danielle, but we definitely should catch dinner. But in December, what I'm doing is a special treat for our executive suite guests, where we will have lunch and be able to meet with all the lovely ladies and guests
Oh,
in one room. So I hope that you all will be able to make it up here for that. And of course, our great Denicia, podcast coordinator, will get that information to you. In
Awesome.
this segment, what I want to do is really get our final thoughts and takeaways from today's show. What was something that you uh, really loved, learned in today's show? Sometimes you learn a lot when you have to speak out loud and answer questions that you typically don't even ask yourself or others don't ask you. Who want to kick it off?
Um, what I want to say to Adrian is that a couple things. One, I liked hearing about the fact that you have always had boundaries. and that you just kind of set the expectation for how people should treat you. I didn't realize until much later in life that, people who don't have boundaries are typically those who've had their boundaries violated, usually at a very young age. So I always like when I hear women who's like, oh, I never, always been this way. I'm like, yes, I love it. And then also the fact that you took your you took the fact that you did not build relationships early on, and then you flipped it and now you exclusively focus on that. That's pretty dope. Most people can't
Thank you.
never make those types of leaps in a lifetime, so I think that's awesome.
I
You are so
love
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
Yes. Pour into each other. Wendy says, great conversation. Thank you today. Adrian, what's your great takeaway?
Oh man. You know what? So I was too busy cheesing at Danielle's comment to be thinking like normally I was like thinking in advance. Um, my takeaway was just that I think I'm laughing because I remember Danielle's face when she said what I'm about to say, that not everything is a business, baby.
Yeah.
Listen, because you are the most awesome basket weaver, no shade to basket weavers, does not mean that it should be a business. It might should it should continue to be a hobby, perhaps, right? Because there are so many other nuances and just really educational information and experiences that you have to have as a business owner, right? There's so Danielle is an accountant by trade, right? But if you're not, like I took some accounting courses, but I am not an accountant. I barely pass those courses. So I've got to have an accountant, right? And I have an MBA, but I've got to have somebody that does marketing because as a CEO, I can't do all in my business. But there's all these different things that you have to do to be in business, not just the thing that you're really, really good at.
Yeah.
So not everything should be a business. Don't
Yeah.
y'all leave y'all good jobs if y'all not ready.
Yeah.
Ooh, say it again. Don't you
Yeah.
leave your good jobs if you ain't ready and don't got no plan, baby. Listen.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. And for me, one of the things that I absolutely love that both of you ladies are doing, I love family, right? And I love breaking generational trauma and or what some people may call curses through our children. And
Mhm.
Danielle said, that she's raising free thinking children. You both talked about the legacy that you want to leave for your children and the path that you have set, right? And that all starts with us and really uh, breaking away from things that maybe we were taught,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? And I absolutely love that. And in addition to everything that you two have mentioned, I wanted to say good job, ladies, with your children. Um, Talk to me in 20 years when we can compare some notes because it's a whole another beast when they become adults and they
Teenagers.
actually implement all of these things that you have taught them. And
Yeah.
in speaking with them, it's like speaking with yourself times 10, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm just here to tell you. That's all. I'm just here to tell you. You're gonna have to learn how to parent all over again with these adult children, right? I
Yeah.
remember Bernadette saying, "I never want to live in a separate house." I said, "Girl, please." She was
You might,
young.
you might
I'm
be.
always listen.
You might be.
Well, it has been such a pleasure, ladies, having
Yeah.
you today on this show with me. Again, I hope that, when I extend the invitation for you to come down to Cold as Chicago in December, that you'll accept so that we can break bread together. And I have a wonderful surprise set up for that. And also, you will be receiving a lovely gift. If you could, Denicia, this lovely, lovely gift that is a key culture from our key culture store. It's an executive
Ooh.
suite mug, and on the back, it is just our way of
Yes.
saying thank you for participating today.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you
I'll see
It's
you
a
so
guys
much.
pleasure.
next week.
See you guys in Atlanta. Bye
Yep.
bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, it was such a great, great,
That was
great
so
show.
fun.
Ah, there we go. It was such a great, 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 great show. I had so much fun with Danielle and Adrian. Did you guys enjoy yourselves? Did you enjoy yourselves? Drop it in the comments. Tell us your thoughts. What were some of your key takeaways? What are some of the things that you would like to see. And again, I want to show you, you can also get this cup too. So if you could put that on back up on the screen and let our audience see that you can purchase your own Executive Suites cup. And it says thank you. That Q is from the Key Support community. You just go to shop.keysupportsolutions.com. And besides mugs, we have a bunch of other teas there as well, sweatshirts, all kinds of stuff. It's hot where we are right now, so you probably ain't even thinking about a sweatshirt, but you definitely can get a mug, t-shirt, all that good stuff from the Key Culture store. It has been an absolute pleasure. We will be back on July 1st here with you to share with our other exciting guests. You guys enjoy your Friday. I'm your girl, Tequila Shabazz, and I am out. Thank you. Bye, guys.